Ring ring, kiddo. You busy right now? No, nothing really. I was on the way home and boy oh boy, the road stuffed to the brim with people trying to get home. And in an attempt to keep my energy up while I slowly slough through inch by inch, I thought, hey, I'll shoot you a call and see if you're up to anything. Well, since I have you on the line, and you're not too busy, you ever been stuck in something like traffic or something similar before? Because I think a lot of people have, and it's kind of like a pretty common shared human experience nowadays. You know what I mean, kiddo? There's something about it as well. Because there's a lot of this feeling of helplessness, and something about that feeling, this situation, and it brings out the worst in you, you know? And I was thinking, what is it about these kind of situations that just get you super emotional, frustrated? I'm not too sure what the word's supposed to be, but it's a big feeling. It sure ain't a great spot to be in, kiddo, I'll tell you that. But don't you worry, Dad's gonna drop some good old dadly wisdom on you real soon. I can't speak for everybody, but I do know just being stuck for a while, kinda against your will in a way, it does peeve you in a way that feels like time's just burning away. But when I stop to think about it, sure, I may be stuck in the middle of the road, but I have options, things I can be doing. Of course, the first thing I thought of was just calling you and checking what you're up to. How long till I'm home? Let me check. So, the maps is saying it's going to be another 40 minutes, but my dad's senses are saying it might take a bit longer. Oh dear, am I think I was happy in not knowing that. It does seem like it eases up next to the bakery we both love. What you think? Should I grab some cookies on the way? You got it, kiddo. A dozen of the good stuff will be at the pantry shortly. Ah, yes, the dadly wisdom. So, the thing I do get about this whole build-up of frustration, I think that feeling comes mostly from the sense of being trapped, from being helpless. The funny thing, though, it's just not really that true. But our minds can't help but feel that way. Maybe the original goal or destination or just things not going to plan just adds to that incorrect idea in our head. But I found that if you can give yourself the chance, a quick breather to stop and think, something starts becoming very clear. You can always do something else. There's time. Of course, the options are limited, but the important part isn't what you choose to do. It's the fact that you are choosing anything at all. I think it sort of boils down to a feeling of some kind of control. And the reality of how our minds feel like it has any control is if you choose to add stuff to your plate. So, whenever I find myself in a situation where I'm stuck waiting and I have time to kill, I try to do little tasks, or I try to talk to people. Anything that isn't just being at the whim of my environment. And this approach, kiddo, it is game-changing. I remember trying to just keep myself busy when your mom was about to bring you into our lives. We spent a whole lot of time with those doctors and nurses. Such nice people. So, while your mom would go in and I wouldn't be able to join her sometimes, I'd spend some time talking to any hospital staff that weren't flooded with work. Sometimes just to help out or just, bring some comfort. I'd bring like a bag of chocolates with me as well and just hand it out to anybody who's just in a tizzy, just clearly hasn't had some time to eat. So, a little snack and the smiles on their faces. It was very nice seeing that. And some days, there weren't that many people to talk to. So, I would think ahead. I'd boot up a podcast that I've been meaning to listen to, or some sort of stuff that I wanted to catch up on, maybe a book I wanted to read. I think there was this one particular book that had me crying a lot. What was it called? I think it was called Tuesdays with Maury. I think I don't think I finished it. It was a short book, but I never finished it. I do not know if my heart can take it, though. It was a very emotional book. One day. Ooh, actually, we could read it for story time one day. When curfew's hitting, and just to get you to sleep. I know you're too old for that, but hey, some quality time never hurts, does it? And it's a very exhilarating book. I think you'd love it. Even if it does make you cry, that's part of the experience. Just let it happen. And let that story just well in your heart. Let it sit there for a bit. That's what I did. I really should give it another read. Okay, there was also one day where I think I went to the supermarket around the block where the hospital was, and I was trying to get some supplies, some food for your mom, and some stuff she'd asked you to grab, and I noticed that there were a couple of these metallic-looking weird shapes that's in like a little bag, and I asked the shopkeeper there what it is, and they said that's like a physical puzzle, that you'd have to like move things around, twist and turn them to untangle them. They look like they can't be untangled, but they can. And only a sharp mind and a whole bunch of patience can do it. The old man was up to the task, kiddo. He had no option but to face that challenge. So I grabbed one, brought it back to the room your mom and I were in. And I could only be there for a little bit, so I had to be out in the waiting room while she was getting some tests done. So I popped the thing out. And I don't know how to describe it. It was kind of like a very funky version of metal chains, but they were much longer and there were a few different shapes in there. But I think I spent a solid 2 hours trying to split those 3 pieces apart, and oh boy, it took a lot of patience. I gave up a few times, but it didn't matter. I just kept going back to it. I just tried to focus, and when the frustration was kind of boiling up, I take a break. I'll go for a short walk and just look at the environment, say hi to people along in the hallway. And I come back to it in a couple of minutes, and something about that process of stepping away and coming back while not really thinking of anything, it's like it sped up whatever I was trying to solve, like this difficult thing that seemed impossible became less and less impossible. That was a nice moment, just overcoming that little thing. Of course, your mom was in great health, things were going well, and that was a better moment to know that everything's going according to plan and that nothing's unexpected and that you'd be born in life soon and healthy. But the puzzle was nice. Anyway, that's enough of a tangent. But I'm hoping the idea comes across, kiddo, that there were many moments in my life where it felt like all I could be doing was waiting. But I took the opportunity to sit down and wonder what I could use that time for. And I've been in this sort of traffic situation many times in my life, so I've learned to just have things I could do while I'm in a car, while I'm behind the wheel. Nothing too distracting, because you gotta be safe on the road. But they've helped a lot, and it's not like I was somebody who'd get easily frustrated, but I would feel it. I just never show it. And having that small list of to-dos, little things I can fiddle with or listen to, it was quite a game changer, because I feel like my energy would be far more persistent. Like, being stuck in traffic didn't burn a hole in my energy, and that was really nice. So yeah, that's my main takeaway. That's the dadly wisdom. Even if you're stuck waiting in a queue, there's always something that you can do. Oh, write that down. Also, never forget, sometimes doing nothing is plenty. This is only in those scenarios where the frustration's building up because you're forced to do nothing. But I genuinely think like a healthy dose of boredom is so good for the mind. Like, sometimes I need creativity when I'm just doing my own stuff or with work, and just doing nothing for a bit was exactly what you needed. It just restored the rhythm I was trying to find. Rather than chasing it, I just was like, well, let me just wait. And bam, came back. Not every time, but most times. Can't always rely on it, but it is a pretty effective method. Ooh, I just remembered. A couple of years ago, I'm not sure if you remember, kiddo, but we were waiting outside, I think, a principal's office to try to get you registered into your grade school at the time. And holy moly, they made us wait for a while. I think it was an hour and a half. And you were going ballistic. You could not. You wanted to leave. You just wanted to get some food. And your mom and I had to explain it to you, try to earn your patience and get you to calm down a bit. It was a moment, but I'm glad you did listen eventually. It did take you a little while, but it did come to you that, we are kind of stuck here for a bit until we get word. I did try to ask the admins around that, hey, if we could just step out, grab you like a hot dog or something, but they said, no, the principal will be here soon. It won't take much longer. Complete lie. Unfortunately, maybe they weren't lying. Maybe I'm just being a bit of a jerk. And it was just a miscommunication. Not sure about the details, but it really did test us. And I'm not gonna lie, I had to choose to do nothing because watching you was plenty entertainment. It's one of those memories that's just forever bolted into my brain. I'm just never gonna forget that little tantrum you had, and then you calming down, learning about this test of patience, and then I'll cherish that moment. But I wonder how it is that you handle these kind of moments now that you've grown up a bit. I wonder if the frustration does get to you, because I threw out all this advice without really checking in with you. Is it something you knew? Is it something you wanted to know? I should really ask that before I dump all this information, huh? I hope you'll forgive me, kiddo, and I hope the cookies are apology enough, because I am nearly there. I see it in the distance. It is 10 minutes away. Somehow, somewhere during this conversation, cars started moving faster, and it's a sign. We're meant to get these cookies early. So I'll be seeing you in a bit, kiddo. I'll keep you posted, and I'll send you a picture of them as well. Take care, kiddo. See you in a little bit. Bye-bye.